Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I am going to be ranking 10 of the newest beauty releases from least liked at number 10 to most liked at number 1. If you happen to be new to my channel, once a month I do try to post a testing hot new makeup video where I take some of the hottest, most hyped up viral new makeup releases and I test them out for the very first time on camera. And I try to do that every single month, but sometimes I do like to switch things up and just test the products first and then let you know my thoughts after using them for a couple of days versus just giving you my first impressions. Okay, in the 10 spot, my least liked new release is a fragrance. And it's really difficult to review fragrance because fragrance is so personal. There are a lot of popular fragrances out there that I simply do not like at all. And then I'm sure there are fragrances that I wear and rave about that you've tried and simply didn't like. So what I'm getting at is just because I'm not a fan of this fragrance doesn't mean that you won't be. This is from Ellis Brooklyn, and it's Isla Sirena. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I didn't. According to the Ellis Brooklyn website, this is a first-class scent escape. Fresh notes of coconut water and lime balanced with creamy notes of blue Java banana, papaya, and vanilla is your ticket to the luxury island life. I am normally very, very drawn to tropical island scents. However, this one just missed the mark for me. And to be fully honest with you, it's the top notes that I don't like. And I dislike them so much that it has ruined the entire fragrance for me. Because I have to say, I do actually enjoy this fragrance after it's dried down. But I'm talking a half an hour later. And it's that first half an hour that I don't even want to have it on my skin. From the moment I sprayed it, I knew it had to be the banana and the papaya, mostly the banana, because that is really what I get when I spray this initially. And there's also some sort of sharpness to it that just sort of bites my nose. I know that doesn't really make sense, but I have a feeling you get it. When it dries down a bit to the coconut water, vanilla orchid, and ginger flower, and the other notes start to dissipate, I do start to like it more. And then I do really enjoy the base notes. So now you might be wondering, Risa, if you like the dry down, why won't you wear it? Well, as I hopefully got across, I was gonna say can't stand it on my skin for that first half hour, but then I felt like that's being very harsh. But it's true. To me, a much better beachy scent is their Miami Nectar. Another fantastic summer beachy fragrance that I adore is Letta's Isla Coco. Every time I wear that fragrance, I receive so many compliments. The 8th and 9th spots in my ranking both go to new Benefit products. Obviously, I was sent a PR package, and I can't say that I was super excited when I got this package, only because, and this is a minor thing, but I do know there are a lot of beauty consumers that care about packaging. And if they're going to spend $34 on a blush, they don't really want it to look like, in my opinion, toddler makeup, kid makeup. But then again, the most important thing is how the product performs, right? In many cases, you can overlook the packaging if the product inside is excellent. Unfortunately, that is not the case with these. This right here is called Play Days. It comes in 5 shades and retails for $34. It says that it offers a diffused, velvety, cloud-like flush, light buildable payoff, weightless transformative, liquid to air texture, waterproof, smudge-proof, transfer resistant, and here it says how long it lasts, all day. Now, that would be great if it did, but it did not last even a couple of hours on my skin. I will say that I do like the shades. I do like the airy, weightless feel. You can apply this over powder. I tried it once I had set my face and it did apply nicely over the powder. It didn't look patchy, but my issue with this is that it just doesn't last. And for $34, there are much better similar products that you can buy. As much as I dislike this packaging, I do prefer this stick. It's called Juice Stick. And it says effects may include juicy, dewy flush, which yes, it does give that. Sheer, buildable payoff, yes. Hydrating and cooling feel, yes, that I did enjoy, the hydrating and cooling feel. It also claims to be water resistant, sweat proof, and humidity proof. And it also says that this lasts all day. And this also comes in 5 shades. You do get a little bit more color payoff with these upon initial application than you do with the Play Days. And this is buildable, and it does, did I already say this? It does last a lot longer on the skin. At least that was my experience. And the shades are really beautiful, great for summer. This purple one, what's this called? I haven't tried this one yet, and I don't want to put it on now because I'm going to be putting on more of a blush that ranks higher in this video. This is called Figgy. Oh, that's actually quite sheer. Much more sheer than Krista. So Krista is the peachy one, and then Figgy is the purpley one. I don't know. They're pretty and they feel nice. I'm just not sure they're $34 nice. These are the kind of things that if they end up sticking around, I could see being 50% off during the next Ulta 21 Days of Beauty event. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, if they were half the price, they would probably have a higher ranking. Actually, this one is definitely worth it at half price. I'm still not sure if I would even pay half price for this one. In at number 7, the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Arch Brow Pencil. Funny story about these. I was sent every shade in a PR package, which is great. I was super excited about that because that does not usually happen to me. And all of them came like this. No caps on any of them, twisted up like this. And I could not for the life of me figure out how they worked. I was running each one of them on my hand and nothing was happening. And then I started twisting and nothing was happening. Then I realized that if I kept twisting, now I could see the product coming up. And it is a very uniquely shaped brow pencil. And you know me, I love to try new brow pencils. But unfortunately, this is not it for me. I have seen some makeup artists who also got this in PR saying that it's amazing. They love it. They're immediately adding these to their kit. But I think you all would agree when I say that applying makeup to someone else is different than applying it to yourself. It's kind of like when you go and get your hair done and your hairstylist gives you this amazing blowout and you try to replicate it at home, but you can't because you just can't get those same angles that your stylist can get. And it's the same thing with makeup application. Obviously, some things are easier to apply on yourself than others. When it comes to brows, you are going in at a completely different angle. And I can see how if I were still a working makeup artist, that I would be able to make those really quick hair-like wispy strokes with this very, very fine angled tip. However, when I'm trying to do it on myself, I don't know if it's the lack of a super steady hand or I just don't know what it is, but I cannot get this to work for me in the sense that, yeah, I can apply my brows and eventually they'll look nice, but it's just not easy to use for me. And I also discovered that much like a lot of other brow pencils that are very, very fine, the second you apply too much pressure, it breaks. I would say this pencil broke twice when doing my left eyebrow today. And I just felt like it was taking way more time than it normally does when I use my Charlotte Tilbury brow pencil or my Patrick Ta brow pencil. It's not a bad product. It's just not for me. I'm not going to be reaching for it over the other brow pencils in my stash. In at number 6 is the Say Beauty Super Suede Bronzer. Say Beauty sent me a DM a while back asking for my address because they had a new product that was coming out. So I thought, oh, it must be the bronzer because I had seen that they were coming out with the bronzer. Never got the PR package. So what I do in that case is I go out and purchase the product like anyone else would if I'm intrigued enough to do so. And I've got to say, I did wait probably about 3 weeks before I purchased mine in, I don't know if I said this yet, the shade I got is Amalfi. It's the second to lightest shade. And the reason why I did wait so long to purchase it is because I was seeing such mixed reviews on it. Some people were saying that it was very sheer. Others were saying that it was too orange. Others were saying that it's the most beautiful bronzer they'd ever used. And some were saying that it's so pigmented, you've got to use a very light hand. So I was hearing lots of conflicting opinions. And honestly, I don't really trust the reviews on Sephora, mainly because when you filter those reviews to non-incentivized reviews or to verified purchases, suddenly the 500 reviews the product has now only has like 10 reviews. Eventually, I had heard enough good things that I placed an order. And I think this bronzer is fabulous. And I own a lot of bronzers. It comes in 6 shades and retails for $32. It says here that it is a long-wearing baked bronzer that's lightweight and non-comedogenic for blurred bronze skin with a natural radiant finish. And that description is accurate. This bronzer is incredibly beautiful, but I agree with the review I read that said it is very pigmented. So you do have to be careful. In hindsight, maybe I should have purchased the lightest shade, but this will be great for when I do have more of a tan, which I do now because I'm leaving to go on a trip in a few days. So I've been doing the whole self-tan routine. So I have some color because I do not sit in the sun on the beach. I sit on the beach, but I sit under an umbrella with my SPF 50 being applied constantly. So yeah, this bronzer, I think, is fantastic. Now, my eyesight is horrible. And I know someone's gonna ask, is there any shimmer in this? And I don't see any shimmer. To me, it's very neutral, it's very natural looking, and it's blurring, and it's long wearing. And I am just so happy I finally picked it up. I'm also very happy that I picked up the product in 5th place. This is not a new product, but it is a new shade. Rare Beauty came out with 3 new shades of their bouncy blush, and I purchased the shade Divine, and it is divine. If you have not felt the texture of this matte bouncy blush, I highly recommend you do. Although I will say that when this product first launched and I was in a Sephora store, I did touch the testers to feel the texture and I liked the texture, but when I swatched it on my hand, I didn't get a lot of color payoff. But that happens to the testers often at Sephora because they're under those lights for so long every single day and so many people are touching them. The texture and color payoff can change. I recall going into Sephora one day and seeing all the Valentino blushes lined up on the display, and every single one of them looked terrible. They were so washed out, desaturated in color, dry feeling, and it's a shame because that puts people off from actually buying a fresh product. And yeah, that was the case with me and this blush. But when I finally caved and purchased one, got it in the mail and tried it, I fell in love with the texture. I fell in love with how blurred it made my cheeks and how long lasting it was. So when I saw those 3 new shades that came out, this one really drew me in. You can apply these with your finger or with a brush. And this color, I think, might be my perfect blush shade. It's not too pink. It's not too brown or mauve or peachy. It is the perfect tea rose, just like it's described. And yeah, I just love it so much. Products 4 and 3 are complexion products. If you have not watched my February favorites video yet, I encourage you to do so because in that video, I mentioned how much I loved the new Nars Matte Longwear Foundation. That foundation, I feel, is a pretty good alternative or option for anyone with oily skin who has tried the new Estee Lauder Double Wear, the new formula Estee Lauder Double Wear, and are not happy about the new formula. That would be me. I do not like the new formula. So I tried the Nars, and in my February favorites review of that foundation, I do mention that it could be sort of a struggle for someone to find their shade though in the Nars because they do run pretty warm, the shade range. So after that video was uploaded, of course, a lot of people asked me if I was going to be testing and reviewing the newly reformulated Dior foundations. I knew right off the bat that I had no business testing the Radiant formula. Someone with very oily skin, in my opinion, does not need to be reaching for a Radiant formula foundation. So I picked up first a sample, which I highly recommend you do if you can. I got a sample of 2.5 N and 2 WO. Surprisingly, I ended up going with the 2 WO. It was just a better match for me. And I loved this from the start. And I know the next question you probably have is, well, do you like it better than the Nars? And I'm still struggling to answer that because I like the Nars for its oil controlling properties. I like this one because while it doesn't control oil as well as the Nars, it is definitely more skin-like. So Nars, more oil controlling. Dior, I get a little shiny. I do have to use an oil controlling primer underneath it. Nars, full, flawless, filtered coverage. Dior, you still look flawless, but maybe not as filtered, maybe more, as I said earlier, skin-like. Obviously, I liked it enough to purchase the full size, to feel like it was worth having both. I'm actually thinking of trying to mix the two together. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not suggesting that you should go out and purchase one $60 foundation and one $50 foundation to possibly see what the two combined would look like. I'm going to do that, but only for research purposes. And the number 3 spot goes to the Patrick Ta Major Skin Soft Blur Brightening Hydrating Concealer with Vitamin E. This comes in 25 shades and retails for $34. I've been using the shade Light Neutral 1. If you are looking for high coverage and long wear, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Blurring Concealer is amazing. But if you need a little bit more hydration, perhaps more of a medium coverage than a full coverage, I would recommend checking out this one from Patrick Ta. A little bit goes a long way, much like the Charlotte Tilbury, but I do have to do 3 dots of this versus 1 dot of the Charlotte Tilbury to get the same amount of coverage. But the Charlotte Tilbury does claim to be full coverage, while the Patrick Ta does claim medium coverage. It is very buildable though. It brightens, it blurs, it wears all day long. The key ingredients are sodium hyaluronate, which provides intense hydration and supports skin elasticity, vitamin E for soothing the skin, moisture retention, and antioxidant protection. And something called, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, but I will put it up on the screen. It softens, smooths, and supports the skin barrier while enhancing blendability. And yes, this is quite blendable. I love how easily this blends out. Products number 2 and 1 might surprise you because I don't normally rave about lip liners and eyeshadow palettes, and product number 1 is an eyeshadow palette. Number 2 is this Summer Fridays lip liner. And this specific shade, Toffee, might be the most perfect lip liner shade I've ever tried. There is one lip liner from the brand Ortega called Nubes. Every time I say it, someone tells me I pronounced it wrong. Nubes. That is a great nude lip pencil for someone that has fair to light skin. And that one was my favorite for a long time, but this one has knocked it out of the top spot. This pencil is so creamy. It applies so easily. It's long wearing, and the color is perfection. I know a lot of you watching really don't like the look of a real defined lip line. Some of you might think that this is still too dark for me, but I love the look of a somewhat visible liner. It's never my intention to have my lip liner look severely different from whatever lip color I put on, but I am a fan of a little contrast. And this is just so perfect. And I don't think the price is too bad for a lip liner at Sephora either. It comes in 8 shades and retails for $20. And it's just so good. Speaking of so good, Rare Beauty has made a comeback in the eyeshadow category with this new palette. It is called the Essential Neutrals. So in my opinion, it is appropriately named because you get your essential neutrals in this palette. And I say it's a comeback for them in the eyeshadow category because I don't know if you tried their old eyeshadow palette before. It was not good. Did I need another eyeshadow palette? No, but I kept seeing such high praise from other content creators about the pigmentation, about the shimmers. And this palette, honestly, it spoke to me. It ticked pretty much all of the boxes for me when it comes to what I look for in an eyeshadow. There's 8 shades, so I don't think that's too many. It's a great size. It has a mirror. The shades are beautiful. You've got a couple transition shades. You've got a couple eyeliner shades or shades that you can use to darken up the outer corners. And it was what I kept hearing about the shimmers that really sold me. And those reviews were not wrong. These shimmers are exactly what I look for in a shimmer. They go on like butter. They blend with incredible ease. They look beautiful on the eyes. I simply cannot say enough good things about this eyeshadow palette. I knew it had to be my #1 pick of all the new releases. I have been reaching for this every single day since I bought it, which is about a week, and that is actually unheard of for me. I am usually rotating nearly every product on my face every single day. Maybe not the foundation and concealer and powder, but blush, eyeshadow, brow pencil, lip product. Usually I'm trying different things every single day, but consistently for the past week, I have been using this palette exclusively. And as soon as I am done editing this video, it is going in my makeup bag to take on my upcoming trip. So there it is, my ranking of 10 of the hottest new makeup releases. I sincerely hope you found this video enjoyable. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. I will have all of the products listed and linked down below in the description box, as well as tagged through YouTube Shopping if available. To access the links in the description box, if you are on your mobile phone, you will have to tap Show More, and then you should see the full description box, including the links. All right, that'll do it for this video. The last thing I'm going to say is that if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find me over on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. My username is the same on every social media platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.